What's up, everybody? So before you watch what I'm about to show you, please let me first explain to you.
I do know better.
I'm trying to be an adult.
There's a few different reasons why we've gotten into this RC drag racing thing. One, I get to spend time with my son.
Oh!
Two, it's fun.
I'm getting too old for this craziness.
Three, we're learning things.
You didn't push the front down.
Holy shit!
Believe it or not, there's always something that you learn from any type of drag racing. You're going to learn something that applies to other forms of racing. So with that being said, on a Sunday night, we went and started testing down in Newark in a parking garage. Clearly, we found out that the garage is not nearly long enough to race 132 feet, which is scale 8th mile for 10 scale drag cars. So on a Sunday night, approximately 10:30, we left Newark and headed towards Columbus, looking for a dry spot in a parking garage to go test Billy's newest no prep street race drag car. Just understand that this is really starting to get to be a really big thing. Like, there's a lot of different groups popping up on Facebook, and there's a lot of people looking for cars, and like, it's in some ways it's like the coronavirus of drag racing right now. It's like everybody's talking about it and getting into it, and it's just spreading like wildfire. So keep in mind, guys, that it's a good way to get young people involved in the sport. You'd be surprised what a young mind is capable of when they're not thinking about video games. They're actually sitting there staring at a little RC drag car, and they're pushing the shock absorbers up and down, and they're checking the wheelie bar out. It helps get these little kids interested in something other than whatever it is that they're usually thinking about and researching online. So think about that a little bit. It's grassroots. It's relatable to a lot of people. This is something that a lot of people can get into relatively inexpensively and spend time with their kids and enjoy themselves, and it's a really good thing. So keep that in mind as you watch this video. So it is Monday morning. Officially, it is Monday morning, about 12:15, and we are in RC Mexico. You can see behind me, we are in a parking garage. We found the honey hole of all honey holes for RC street racing. We've measured off 132 feet, and we are testing tonight at an undisclosed location. Some of us are just ate up. So here we are. The police already been through here and checked on us. The officer was very nice, said no problem, enjoy yourself, we're not causing any trouble. So we have their blessing to be here tonight, thank the Lord. So we are up here testing the chassis that's under Gold Member. We'll see what happens. So we actually have two different chassis. This chassis is Gold Member, but it's got the Murder Nova body on it because we want to make sure we're not going to crash. So here we go. We'll see how it goes. And that's why we don't run with a brand new body on an untested car. He literally went down there and hit the freaking cone. So evidently it's my job as crew chief to reset the damn cone after Junior pile drives it with a brand new car. So I gotta go reset this damn cone. Hang on a minute. Oh, good grief. The shit I do for my kids. Oh.
Getting too old for this craziness.
Oh, you're getting particular, huh?
Yeah. I'll get a stopwatch and that time.
How close was I?
It's 143.
Shit.
So let's go back.
It don't go back.
It does.
Does it really? Oh, good grief.
It's right there.
That's it?
Yep.
All right. Now, we've got, believe it or not, we have a race analyzer on this thing, and it's GPS based. The problem is we're in a parking garage. We can't get satellite signal in here worth a shit. So we can't use it. It's not accurate. So we're having to stopwatch this thing. Let's see what it goes. Okay. Now it did make a good pass, but let's slow this down and take a closer look at what's going on. You can see here that the car is a little bit light in the nose. The sparks are flying off the wheelie bars. And as you come across this little bit of a ramp to go up to the next level, the front end gets light, air gets underneath of it, and it rides the wheelie bars through the finish line. So what do you think?
I think if we had a better battery, we'd be near the 2.
We're not supposed to be talking no times.
Yeah. But you have to blur it out or bleep it out.
So I think we should go ahead and put the gold member body on and make a pass
One
one.
leg.
Yeah, so I can video it.
All right.
I think it's safe.
All right.
So here we go. The first official pass for the gold member body. So we're going to pack it in for tonight. I think we're all right. The little gold member car is a legal 2-cell car. The Murder Nova, it's not legal for the classes right now anyway. But we wanted to build the gold car as a purpose-built class car for 2C or 2S competition, no prep. So pretty happy with the gold one. Long night. Jesus Christ. Ice out here. Good afternoon. I'm getting too old for this craziness. We are headed out to the shop. Me and June Pup. I got her bed. Vicky bought her a shop bed, right? Because she won't quit raising hell if I'm in the shop and she's not out here with me. And I don't like for her to lay on that concrete floor because one, it's dirty, two, it's cold. So I got her this little shop bed. Next thing I got to do is I got to build her a little raised platform because Billy stepped on her last night or yesterday, and I've stepped on her a couple of times. You forget that she's laying there. All right, let's turn the lights on out here. We went testing last night and things went pretty well. Not bad. We've got some improvements to make. And I realized this morning as I watch it back, Vicky's going to find out where her bath mat went. We'll see how that goes over when she watches this today. The bath mat is for cleaning the tires. That's what you do your burnout on before you set the car down. We'll get into all that maybe in a later video, but so I want to sit down and talk to you guys a little bit today about 10 scale RC, no prep, and street racing. And if you'd like to get into it, here's a handful of things that you need to know. This heaping pile of sitting here is Billy's very first street race / no prep car. Now, this is what you should expect to come back with after your very first test and tune, especially if you are testing and tuning with other people who are new to RC cars. So I say this and I explain this so that you don't go out and buy a brand new body and spend a whole bunch of time painting it and making it look beautiful and perfect, only to come back from your first experience looking like this thing. Because it's going to happen. I promise you. The first time you sit next to somebody who's also a newbie, I promise you they're going to get together. They're going to hit, they're going to crash, something bad's going to happen. So don't waste your time worrying about the first body or the body that comes on your car. If you're in love with it, save it. Don't take it out on your first trip because I guarantee you it's going to look like this piece of junk right here. So let's go ahead and pull the body off this thing and I'll explain to you guys what this car is. This is a Traxxas / short course stadium truck that has been converted into a drag car. This is what it looked like brand new. Now, if you're wanting to get into this, this is what you need to pay attention to, VXL. You'll notice here on the box, on the brushless ones, it says Valenian 3500 brushless motor with Traxxas electronic speed control, VXL 3S speed control. Okay, a Valenian brushless power system. That's what you want. You don't want the brushed motor. Now, there are other chassis available to do this. One is the Team Associated or Associated, whatever they call it, Associated DR10 chassis. And they are available in kit or in a ready to run. Ready to run meaning you take it right out of the box, throw batteries in it, and you've got a drag car. It's got a body on it. It's got a motor in it. It's got a radio. It's literally ready. You just pull it out of the box, throw batteries in it, and you got a drag car. Why didn't we do that? I guess the main reason we started out with a Traxxas is because it was available in our local hobby shop. We went to Cyclone Hobbies in Columbus, and we started looking at all these things, and Billy wanted to get something. And the gentleman at the hobby shop said, well, by the way, since you guys are into drag racing, you can convert these into drag cars. So that sparked Billy's attention immediately. So he went ahead and picked up his first Slash, brand new, right out of the box, brought it home. We built a track out back. We ran around the dirt track a little bit. And then about 2 days later, he tore it all apart and converted it into a drag car, or at least he began to turn it into a drag car. And we ran into a little snag getting some parts. He got aggravated. So then he went to Smokestack down in Lancaster and bought a DR10 kit. He brought the DR10 kit home and started putting it together. And unfortunately, one of the parts were missing out of the box. So further aggravated, he just goes and buys someone's car ready to run. And it was a DR10, nice looking Malibu. We bring it to the track, it's a turd. It won't get out of its own way. Nothing but trouble out of that. So he sells the DR10 to Kenny, a friend of ours, for less than he bought it for, and goes on the hunt for these parts for his Slash, finished the Slash, and the Slash is fast. Right out of the box, no question about it, the Slash is freaking fast. 3S battery, 3S motor, the Valenium ESC and electric motor, they're fast. Right out of the box, there's no question they're fast. However, if you are wanting to compete in class legal racing for the no prep crap, they're not legal. You have to have a 2S battery, which is a less powerful battery. And when you put the less powerful battery in a 3S motor chassis, they're slower than snail shit. So if you just want to get one to race your buddies and stuff, you know, get a Slash and convert it, or find a Slash that has been converted. In my opinion, you're going to be money ahead for a few different reasons. The main reason is that the DR10 uses a very short shock absorber on the back. Now, you get the DR10 out of the box, and you're all excited because they're aluminum shocks. They're beautiful blue anodized aluminum shocks. And on the surface, this thing looks legit. The problem is the aluminum shocks leak like a sieve, and they're just not a very good quality shock. I'll get into that sometime. I had a DR10 here yesterday. I had it apart. I was pretty frustrated looking at the shock absorbers that come on them because they're crap. The Traxxas has plastic shocks on it, and I thought, well, these are total piles of crap. But if you actually take the shocks apart on a Traxxas vehicle, you'll find out there's some features on these plastic shocks that make them superior, honestly, to the factory DR10 aluminum shocks that come on the DR10. Now, I am by no means an expert in no prep drag racing with RC cars. I'm not an expert in no prep drag racing in any cars. However, I do have what I would consider to be an exceptional background in helping Billy tune his S10 for no prep and street racing. So what I mean by that is we seem to have an uncanny ability to take a complete total pile of stock junk and make it go fast on any surface. So with that background in mind, let me explain to you why I wholeheartedly disagree with people who limit rear shock travel on these RC cars for no prep and street racing. Now, this chassis is the Gold Member chassis. This is a legal 2S competition no prep car. Doesn't have the battery in it right now. Obviously doesn't have the body on it, so it's a little bit lighter than what it would be race ready. But when we go to make our pass, and when I go to set the suspension up, the first thing I do is push the suspension down the chassis pan clear to the ground and let the chassis come back up off the ground to what you would consider its, or what I call its, static ride height. Now, you'll notice the wheelie bar is, I don't know, it's about a ½ inch off the ground. That's a little high, but again, the battery's not in it, the body's not on it. So generally what happens is when you hit the trigger on the controller and the car takes off, okay, the front wheels come up off the ground, right? The wheelie bar goes down against the ground, okay? And what happens is as the car accelerates, you see how the shocks are extending? See how the shocks are extending? Let me do that again. The car takes off, wheelie bar goes down. The front wheels are starting to come off the ground just a little bit. And as the car is accelerating, the shocks extend and keep the tires planted on the ground. Now, it's important to have that extension and travel in the control arms in the rear, because if you don't, as soon as the wheelie bar hits the ground, if you don't have that suspension travel in the back, the tires will unload, spin, and the car just starts going in circles. Not good. You're not going to win a race that way, and you're probably going to crash it and tear up somebody else's car. So the DR10s have very, very short shocks. In fact, the front and rear shocks are the same shock. Let me show you something. Now what we do, and I'm not saying this is right or wrong, I'm just saying this is how we do it, is we'll set up the front suspension at static ride height. You push the car down and it comes up to static ride height, okay? And then what we do is stopwatch the shock travel to see how long it takes after the tire comes off the ground, how long it takes that shock to fully extend. Okay, so here's ride height. This is, I'm just guessing with the battery in the car, okay, and the body on it. This is, let's say this is static ride height. You see how the shock slowly extends? Okay, we do that so that the shock doesn't necessarily help the car get back on the wheelie bar. Okay, you want it to hit the wheelie bar fairly soft so that it doesn't unload the rear tires. Okay. The other thing is when the car is up on the wheelie bar, we want the front suspension to finally stretch down and give it that travel to help steer as it goes down the track or down the street or the parking garage, whatever you're racing on. Now, from what I have seen so far and looking at used cars in the hobby shops and looking at people's cars on tracks, like there's a prep track down in Chillicothe, the general consensus seems to be for the prep guys, limit shock travel, slam the car on the ground, and that's fine. As long as you're on a perfectly smooth prep track, that's going to be okay. But when you're racing in a parking garage or on a sidewalk or street or whatever, there's humps, there's bumps, there's a grade up and a grade down, there's little ramps here and there. You're going to have your suspension shock travel all you can get, in all honesty. Now, I know a lot of the guys set them up so that they think they're just going to ride the wheelie bar the entire pass, and that's not what you want. Okay, despite this is just my opinion. Okay, there's a million ways to skin a cat. My way of thinking is that if the wheelie bar is on the ground, you're dragging the wheelie bars, and that slows the car down. If it's on the wheelie bar, that means the nose is in the air and it's grabbing air. That slows the car down. If it's on the wheelie bar and the front wheels are off the ground, you can't steer it. That's not good either. So, in my opinion, just my opinion, the best thing to do is for a no prep car or something that you're going to street race like what we're doing in parking garages and wherever we can find a dry spot, is set the car up so that it's not necessarily the lightest car, but you want to have a little bit of nose weight in the car so that the front end sets in about mid travel on your suspension travel, your shock travel. And you want to balance the car so that its power and its acceleration rate is such that, yes, it uses the wheelie bar on acceleration on the initial hit. You know, it gets out on the wheelie bar, but then you want it to come off the wheelie bar. You want to set the front end down, and the body shape, your aerodynamics, and a little bit of weight in the nose keeps the front end down where it should be, keeps the front tires on the ground where you can steer it, keeps the wheelie bar off the ground, and keeps the rear tires planted. And I got a whimpering damn dog again. She's back here raising hell. Look at this. It's the Frisbee, isn't it? You want to go play Frisbee? All right, grab your Frisbee. Come on, let's go. I'm going to have to stop this for today because I got this crazy ass dog out here just raising 6 shades of hell wanting to go play Frisbee. So I'm going to go do that for a while. And then I'm going to go in the house, work on editing this video. We'll see how that turns out. Hope everybody's having a good day.